causing unnecessary stress. So I would like to thank you to audience and panelists for contribute or participating in our forum for today. So tests and exams like stepping stones for us to attend distinguished universities like Oxford or university, and it can also be self-assess your academic abilities to improve, or whether it's an unnecessary stress, pressure to succeed, or coupled with the fear of failure. As we all know, everyone wants seat for tests and exams in high school, primary school, or universities. So, is it true tests and exams important for academic success, or simply causing unnecessary stress? So let's get cracking. But before we start, let's introduce our panelists first. So for today, we have Miss Salsabilla as a university lecturer. We also have Madam Farisya as a concerned parent, and Miss Farah as a student representative council. So, can you guys introduce yourself first?
Thank you, Mr. Adil. Hello everyone, my name is Salsabilla. I'm a lecturer at DUE10092, specializing in educational method and assessment. I have been in the education field for over 10 years, and I strongly believe that exam play a crucial role in tracking student progress and preparing them for professional environment. I'm looking forward to sharing my thoughts on how exams can help build resilience and knowledge.
Thank you, Mr. Salsabilla, and thank you, Mr. Adil. My name is Farisya, and I'm here today as a parent of two college students. I've seen firsthand how frequent testing can affect student mental health and lead to anxiety and burnout. While I understand the importance of academic success, I believe we need to find a healthy balance that doesn't compromise student well-being.
Thank you, Ms. Salsabilla and Madam Farisya and Mr. Adil. My name is Natasha. I am the student representative from DUE10092. I am excited to voice the need and perspective of my peers in education. By focusing on mental well-being and more holistic assessment method, I am to contribute to creating a better learning environment for all.
Welcome to today's discussion on a topic that affects students, educators, and parents alike: tests and exams. Are these assessments truly the best pathway to academic success, or do they simply generate unnecessary stress and burnout? Our panel today brings together diverse perspectives to explore the role of exams in shaping student futures, as well as the emotional and psychological impact they can have. We'll dive into the pros, the cons, and whether there are alternative ways to measure academic measurement. Let's get started by having opening remarks from our first panelist, Ms. Salsabilla.
Thank you, Mr. Adil. As a lecturer, I believe that tests and exams are crucial to learning. First, they help students understand better by requiring them to review and apply what they have learned. Secondly, tests help keep track of how students are doing over time. They allow both students and teachers to see what students are good at and where they need to improve.
Thank you, Mr. Sofia, for sharing your perspective as lecturer. However, I must respectfully disagree because as a parent, I'm deeply concerned about the impact that frequent testing has our children mental health. With so many exams back into the college year, students are facing immense pressure, which can lead to anxiety, burnout, and even depression. We need a more balanced approach to education that doesn't just focus on grades, but also support students' emotional well-being. Academic success is important, but making sure our children are mentally healthy and able to cope with the pressure of school is equally important. So how about you, Ms. Farah?
Thank you, Mr. Salsabilla and Madam Farisya for your support. As a member of student KTTM Menggong, I have seen firsthand the exam stress faced by many students. This heavy load often causes anxiety. Therefore, I would like to impress the importance of considering alternative assessment methods such as project and presentation. This method not only reduces stress but also allows students to demonstrate their understanding, to move creative and realistic. By turning the approach, we can achieve academic success while maintaining mental well-being. Let's work together to build a more inclusive education system and support all students in their learning journey.
Thank you to all our panelists for this thoughtful opening statements. It's clear we have a range of perspectives, from seeing exam as essential to learning, to recognizing the need for more balance and mental health conscious approaches. We'll dive deeper into each of these viewpoints as we continue our discussion today. Now, let's move on to the next part of the forum, where we'll discuss specific strategies and ideas to improve the current system. So, Ms. Salsabilla, you have raised some great points about how reducing the weight of individual exams and diversifying assessment can help manage stress. To follow up on that, I would like to ask, what specific strategies do you think school could adopt to effectively implement a more balanced assessment approach, and how might these changes positively impact students?
That's a valid concern, and I completely acknowledge that when not managed properly, tests can indeed lead to significant stress for students. Their pressure to perform well can overshadow the educational experience, distracting for genuine learning and engagement with the material. However, I firmly believe there are effective strategies to mitigate this stress without undermining the importance of exam in assessing student understanding. One approach is to reduce the weight of individual exam in the overall grading system. By lowering the stress associated with any single test, we can help alleviate some of the anxiety students experience. Instead, we can incorporate a variety of formative assessment, such as quizzes, assignment, and class participation that collectively contribute to the final grade. This shift not only encourages continuous learning, but also allows students to demonstrate their understanding in multiple ways, reducing the pressure of having all their performance things on one exam. Additionally, the design of assessment should evolve to focus less on rote memorization and more on critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Tests can be structured to include scenarios that require students to apply their knowledge, analyze information, and develop solutions to a real-world problem. This method not only better reflect a student's understanding of the material, but also promote deeper engagement with the subject matter, fostering skills that are essential for success in the classroom.
Those strategies make a lot of sense, Ms. Salsabilla. It sounds like a comprehensive approach could not only help reduce stress, but also enhance student engagement. Now, Madam Farisya, from current perspective, what are your thoughts on this strategy? Do you believe they would effectively address the mental health concerns you mentioned earlier?
I appreciate Mr. Sabilla's insights. The strategy she mentioned certainly resonate with me. Reducing the weight of individual exam would be a significant improvement. It allows students to feel less pressure and give them a chance to learn from their mistakes without it being make or break situations. I also believe that incorporating more formative assessment is exemplary. This approach not only alleviates stress but also provides students with ongoing feedback, which can be instrumental in their learning journey. As a parent, I'm particularly concerned about the long-term effects of stress on my children's well-being. Implementing these strategies could lead to a healthier academic environment where students feel supported and not just evaluated. However, it is crucial that school communicate this change effectively to parents and students. This way, everyone is aligned and understands the benefits of such approach. Communication will be key in ensuring that students take advantage of this diverse assessment and feel less anxious about their performance.
Those are valid points. Very points, Madam Farisya. Communication indeed plays a vital role in the success of any new strategy. Now, Ms. Farah, considering the challenges associated with high-stake testing, do you believe that shifting towards project-based assessments would significantly reduce these issues, or do you think there are alternative methods that could be more effective in addressing the concerns surrounding student stress and performance?
Many thanks, Mr. Adil. While I agree with Mr. Salsabilla and Ms. Farisya that assessments are important, the real issue is the heavy focus on high-stake tests. Students often feel overwhelmed by multiple exams during exam season, leading on stress, lack of sleep, and sometimes even physical health issues like headache and anxiety attack. The student-specific counsel suggests reducing the frequency of this exam and shifting towards project-based assessment. In my opinion, project-based learning allows students to demonstrate their abilities in a less stressful environment. Through group project, presentation and portfolio work, students can showcase their skill beyond simple memorization. This method encourages creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking, which are vital in today's world. For example, group project foster teamwork, while presentation and portfolio help students reflect on the demonstrate their learning over time. By reducing the emphasis on high-stake tests, we can create a more balancing and less stressful academic environment for students.
Thank you, Ms. Farah. But before we continue our forum, do you guys still with us?
Yes.
I appreciate the suggestion of incorporating more varied assessment to reduce the pressure surrounding exams. By balancing exams with quizzes, assignment, and class participation, we might be able to create a more holistic picture of the students' abilities. But it raises an important question. Are we still preparing students adequately for real-world challenges where high-pressure situations like standardized tests and deadlines are unavoidable? How do we strike the right balance between reducing stress and maintaining academic rigor?
For me, as a student-specific counsel, I firmly feel that There should be less emphasis placed on tests and examination because of how exam-centered the current education system is. Many students are mentally exhausted and experience a lot of stress. Their mental and emotional well-being is negatively affected by this stress, which also affect their academic performance. This is why I suggest moving towards a more thorough assessment that in an exam that combine not only writing tests but also practical skill, creativity and critical thinking and teamwork. With this method, the true potential of students will be presented more freely and accurately. To address this challenge, I propose a shift towards more comprehensive assessment method that go beyond traditional written exam. To more balanced approach who include a combination of writing tests, practical skill assessment, creativity project, and critical thinking tasks, and teamwork activity. This multifaceted approach would allow students to showcase their ability in various ways. Reflection a broader spectrum of skill and knowledge. For example, incorporating practical skill assessment can allow students to demonstrate their understanding through real-world application. Similarly, creative projects can foster innovative and self-expression, while critical thinking tasks encourage students to engage deeply with the material and develop problem-solving skills. Teamwork activity can also cultivate collaboration and communication skills, which are essential in today's interconnected world.
That's well-rounded, Ms. Farah. A more balanced approach to assessment could mitigate stress while also preparing students for real-world challenges. Now, Ms. Farisya, do you think exams have a negative impact on education overall?
That is a good question, Mr. Adil. While tests are useful for assessing student understanding, I feel they can also have a harmful impact on education. The stress of high-stake testing often causes test anxiety, which can impair a student's performance and drive to study. When students are primarily concerned with passing tests, they may prioritize memorization over the true understanding of the material. This can result in a limited learning experience in which the thrill of discovery and critical thinking is trumped by the fear of failure. As a result, it is critical to strike a balance between exam and test knowledge and methods that develop a love of learning. This focus on passing tests can create a narrow learning experience where the excitement of discovery and the development of critical thinking skills are overshadowed by the fear of failure. Students may become so preoccupied with achieving high score that they lose sight of the joy of learning and the curiosity that drives genuine intellectual growth. In an environment dominated by test fatigue, opportunities for exploration, creativity, and a real-world application of knowledge are often minimized. Therefore, it is crucial to strike a balance between traditional exam and measured knowledge and alternative methods that foster a love of learning. This balance would include integrating formative assessment, project-based learning, and collaborative activities that encourage students to think critically and engage with the material in meaningful ways. By promoting an educational environment that values understanding over mere test performance, we can cultivate a generation of learners who are not only knowledgeable but also passionate about their education.
Ms. Farisya, you have highlighted an important concern regarding the impact of high-stakes testing on students. motivation, and overall learning experience. While exams are designed to assess understanding, the stress and anxiety they create often lead students to focus on memorization rather than engaging with the material at a deeper level. In your view, what changes could school implement to spread out tests over the academic term and provide adequate mental health support while still ensuring that exam effectively measure student learning and comprehension?
I believe schools should rethink how tests are scheduled in the academic calendar. Instead of cramming tests into short periods, we should split them over the term. This gives students enough time to prepare without feeling overwhelmed. Implementing a staggered testing schedule would help alleviate the pressure of last-minute study and encourage better study habits. When students feel they have enough time, they approach their studies with more confidence rather than fear. Moreover, schools need to prioritize mental health alongside academics. Providing resources like counseling and stress management process can help students cope with their school demands. These tools enable them to develop a team coping mechanism and manage stress effectively rather than feeling overwhelmed.
Thank you for that insightful discussion, Ms. Farisya. Now, I would like to direct the question to Ms. Salsabilla. What specific strategies do you think could be implemented in workshops to help students develop effective study habits and manage stress? And how can teachers collaborate to ensure those resources are accessible to all students?
Collaboration among teachers is a critical for a consistent approach. One method to help is to create a school-wide calendar that includes assessment schedule. This can prevent last-minute cramming and allow students more time to prepare, minimizing anxiety. Furthermore, providing study tools and workshops on them, such as time management, effective study, provide strategies, and mindfulness can help students build good study habits. By providing these resources, we can help them achieve academic achievement and improve their relationship with learning. Ultimately, it's about creating a supportive educational atmosphere where students feel prepared and confident. This collaborative approach can transform the way assessment are perceived, shifting the focus from mere grade to holistic learning experience.
Thank you, Ms. Salsabilla, Ms. Farisya, and Ms. Farah, for your valuable insights and cooperation throughout this discussion. Collaboration among educators is indeed essential for fostering a supportive learning environment where students can thrive by implementing a school-wide calendar that clearly outlines assessment schedules. We can alleviate some of the pressure students face during exam periods. Additionally, providing workshops focused on effective study habits, stress management techniques, and mindfulness practices can equip students with the tools they need to navigate their academic journeys with confidence. So thank you all for your attention and engagement so far. Now, we would like to open the floor for a question directed at our esteemed panel. This is your opportunity to engage directly with our expert and dive deeper into the topic we've discussed today. Please feel free to raise your hand if you have a question.
I have a question for Farah. You mentioned alternative assessment like project and presentation. Do you think this method will be challenging to standardize, especially in terms of grading fairness across different students?
Thank you, Shafika, for such a great question. While it is true that alternative assessment, such as project, can be more challenging to standardize due to their subjective in nature, I believe this can be addressed through clear assessment scale and evaluated criteria. By providing a consistent framework that outlines expectation for creativity problem solving and teamwork, we can ensure fairness in the assessment process. Additionally, involving multiple lecturers or peers in assessment can offer a more balanced perspective on student performance. In this way, we can maintain rigor and fairness in our assessment methods.
Thank you, Ms. Farah. Let's move on to our next question.
I have a question for Ms. Salsabilla. You mentioned earlier that exams help prepare students for real-world pressure. However, in the workplace, tasks are rarely timed or done under pressure. So, how exactly do exams prepare students for real-life situations?
Thank you for your question. Exam can help students develop important skills like managing time and handling pressure, which are very useful in the workplace. However, exams alone are not enough to prepare students for real life challenge. Other type of assessment should be used as well to give a more complete preparation for life after college.
Thank you, Mr. Salsabilla. Do you have anything to add, Madam Farisya?
Yes, I like to emphasize that while managing exams is important, real-life tasks often involve collaboration and problem solving over time, which exam don't capture. That's why support a broader range of assessment, including group work and long-term projects.
Thank you for your insight, Madam Farisya. So we have time for one or two more questions. So who wants to ask?
My question is from Madam Farisya. You mentioned about mental health earlier. Can you explain on how you think schools can be better support students' mental well-being while maintaining academic rigor?
Okay, thank you, Narendra. That's an excellent question. I believe school needs to adopt a more student-centered approach. This can be achieved by integrating mental health support service within the school system, such as counseling and stress management workshops. Additionally, school or college should create an environment that encourages open dialogues about mental health without the stigma. Reducing the focus on high-stakes exam and implementing continuous assessments can also help reduce some of the pressure that students face. Maintaining academic rigor is important, but it must be balanced with a strong support system that addresses the emotional and psychological needs of students.
Thank you for your answer, Madam Farisya. Before we wrap up, I would like to ask our panelists what's their final thoughts. So let's start with Ms. Salsabilla.
Thank you, Mr. Adil. In closing, I believe that exams still have a place in education, but they should not be the sole method of assessment. A balanced approach incorporating both traditional exam and alternative assessment can provide a well-rounded evaluation of the student abilities.
Thank you, Mr. Salsabilla and Mr. Adil. In conclusion, while exams have their rightful place in the education framework, we must not overlook the mental health and emotional well-being of our students. A more balanced approach to assessment, one that values diverse skills and promotes a positive learning environment, is essential. So let us prioritize our children's overall well-being while still preparing them for future academic and professional change.
Thank you, Ms. Salsabilla, Madam Farisya, and Mr. Adil. In the end of this, I would like to emphasize that it is time for us to move from the traditional examination approach to a more comprehensive and understanding-focused assessment method. Project-based assessment, collaborative learning, and self-reflection can give students a space to demonstrate their true abilities. By prioritizing a deep learning process, we cannot only improve academic achievement, but also maintain the mental well-being of students. Let's work together to create an education system that supports holistic growth where every student feels value and competitive without impressive pressure.
Thank you to all our panelists for the thoughtful discussion, and thank you to audience for pay attention to the final of our forum. I believe we all learned today that while exams are essential, they're not the sole way to measure knowledge. We should strive for a more comprehensive, balanced approach that reduces stress and promote academic learning. I enjoyed the question and engagement from the crowd. Continue for a better future for our youngsters. Thank you and have a great day.
Kenapa ada pulau?